Well, it's certainly more successful now, but it's one of Britain's biggest companies. It's turning over more than £9 billion. And the problem is it hasn't got access to any new capital. A large successful company, Jeff, should be able to access new capital. And we can't have it competing against schools and hospitals. We need to remove that barrier, which Parliament allowed us to do 2 years ago, and we need to get on and free it up to access new capital so it can go on and innovate and be flexible and adapt and provide the new delivery services that people want.
Why doesn't it just borrow the money?
Well, borrowing would have to be public borrowing, and as you know, we're borrowing far too much at the moment. We can't add more to our borrowing requirement. So we have to free Royal Mail from these kind of ideological restraints and treat it like any other big, successful British company and allow it access to new capital. That's what we're considering doing this financial year.
I get the sense, Michael, that you feel that it's somehow falling short. And if only it were in the private sector, things would be much better. I use the Royal Mail every week. I think it provides an excellent service. Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. This isn't a question of ideology at all. This is allowing a big, successful British company access to new capital. And that's really important. We've done a lot more to modernise Royal Mail with the help of the management and the hard work of the staff, and we've removed the pension deficit. We've set up a new regulator to ensure it competes fairly. We've preserved the 6-day-a-week service. All that has been put in place. This is really the last and final step, which is allowing Royal Mail access to the capital markets, either through a share sale or through some other transaction in this financial year.
Isn't that the problem, though, Michael? Because we, the taxpayer, we've now been lumbered with the liabilities, the pension deficit, and when this is sold, private capital will get all the upside. We lose out.
Well, no. Parliament decided 2 years ago to sort out the pension deficit, and that was inevitable given the size of the deficit and indeed the size of the company. But the public will be able, I hope, to subscribe for shares. They will continue to get the upside. And much more importantly, Parliament laid down for the first time in a privatisation like this that 10% of the capital, the share structure, should be reserved for the staff. So the postmen and postwomen who've done so much to make it successful, they will be able, if we have a public offering, to share in that success and get regular dividends.
But the taxpayers won't share in the success. People who buy into the flotation will, but the general taxpayer will lose out if you're right and this is a terrific business.
No, you're wrong. The taxpayer will get the receipt. The taxpayer will get the money from any sale, and that sale will be scrutinised by Parliament like any other privatisation, and we'll get the best value we can for the taxpayer. The taxpayer stands to garner in quite a considerable receipt.
May I remind you, Michael, of another state-owned monopoly that was privatised, Railtrack. It collapsed. Can you guarantee that in private hands Royal Mail won't collapse?
Well, first of all, this isn't a monopoly. There is competition now in delivery.
Well, it's a quasi-monopoly.
No, there's competition in delivery and regulated by Ofcom. And secondly, we've done everything possible to make sure this kind of privatisation is going to be a success. You've got a company that has been modernised thanks to a lot of hard work by management and the staff. It's been modernised. It's now profitable. It's got a modern network of delivery and sorting offices. It's a parcels business much more than a letters business now, but it needs new capital to be able to adapt to changing markets. It needs to spend more on automating some of its processes, and it's ridiculous to say that a £9 billion British company should somehow be forbidden from accessing the capital markets.
Michael Fallon, well, joining me here in the Gherkin is the Deputy General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union, David Ward. Dave, nice to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Good evening, Jeff.
So, there we have it. The Royal Mail needs investment. True. I think you would agree. The government's short of money. True. I think you would agree about that. So why not attract fresh capital and with it some new ideas, some new energy?
Well, I think new ideas and new energy is something that we would welcome. But I mean, let's be clear, this is an old policy. It's an old Thatcherite policy of the 80s. And we don't believe there's any modern thinking about what Michael Fallon has just been talking about. Let's be clear as well that if Royal Mail is privatised, the service principle that it's founded upon, which is that we deliver 6 days a week to every address in the UK, no matter how remote that addresses at the same price, there is no way that a private company will maintain
Well, I was
that
just
type of
reading
service.
Michael Fallon's speech that he gave earlier this evening, and he was saying that that would be part of the deal. The universal service would have to be guaranteed.
Yeah, but there's an economic reality, Jeff, to privatisation. And private companies operate to make profit, whereas at the moment the company is run for the people. And once that takes place, with the pressures that are also coming from regulation, where they're already allowing